wait, nasaan na yung client nyo? Are you still the lawyer of Cassandra Li Ong?
Opo, kasi ang principle po of legal engagement is that as long as you have not been terminated as the lawyer, the legal engagement subsists. And so we are still duty-bound to render whatever legal services we can in order to protect her interests to the best of our ability and under the circumstances obtaining.
You're saying you... It sounds to me like you're saying that you've basically not been fired at this point, but are you continuously engaging with your client?
Well, we had no communication for some time now, but of course there are some legal matters ongoing, and with respect to that, we continue to render legal assistance to Miss Cassandra Li Ong.
How long is some time now exactly? Give me a time range.
Well, our last communication was around the time that she was released lawfully from detention.
December.
After the last Congress went into sine die recess.
June.
Was according to the case of Palay, since the purpose for the detention of a resource person has terminated upon the termination of the legislative inquiry, then she has to be released. Kasi wala naman pong krimen na nagawa at wala naman namang warrant of arrest si Ms. Cassandra Li Ong. The detention was made solely under the powers granted to the legislature upon legislative inquiry.
Right. So when she was released by Congress, so that would make it December 2024?
Yes, that is why we were mystified as to why Risa Ontiveros does not seem to know that she has been released at that time, being a member of Congress also. And Risa seems to know almost everything there is to know about the Philippines. So I was wondering why she did not know that.
Well, to be fair, there are a lot of things to keep track of, right? We are dealing with several heavy national issues. Even for us, it's hard to keep track of all these things. But you're saying that you haven't spoken to her since December 2024. That's nearly a year, attorney.
Or thereabouts. I cannot really put a finger on the exact date when communication ceased, but it has been for quite some time. In fact, we have an ongoing case in Pasay that she has not been attending, so that we cannot fully participate in the proceedings, unfortunately.
Sir, let me just back up a bit. So she was released in December 2024 from Senate custody or from the Correctional Institute of Women in Mandaluyong?
From the Correctional Institute, because that is where the Quadcom, strangely enough, ordered her to be detained, although the Women's Correctional is not part of the legislative. It is an adjunct of the executive branch being under the DILG. So we were mystified, but then there was this order that we had to obey. So that is where she was held until her release in December 2024.
So magmula noon, bali almost going into a year since her release.
Almost a year na po.
Okay. But the arrest warrant was only issued, I think, in May of this year.
Opo. At the time, we were not having any more communication with Miss Cassandra Li Ong at the time. We were able to communicate very sporadically through intermediaries, but not directly.
I guess you don't know where she is at this point?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. What I know is what I read from the papers and reports, of course, from our friends in media like yourselves.
So what's next for you? I mean, what's next for you and her side, in effect? Okay, there's an arrest warrant already out and a red notice.
Well, our options, as I've said, are extremely limited. Without her having, without her being repatriated to the country, then, as I've said, in the cases where she is involved, all that we can do is sit in court and listen and take notes, so that when we finally are able to restore communication lines with her, we would be able to give her the benefit of our best advice. And if she is repatriated and brought back to the country, and she's brought before the bar of justice and arraigned, then we are able to still continue with the flow and represent her without missing a beat.
And you're okay doing this for much longer?
Of course.
I mean, it sounds
we
like
have
you're not getting
represented
paid
a
at this
lot of
point.
people for no compensation at all. We are paid counsels here, to be candid, of course, and as I said, we cannot just abandon a client just because there is no communication.
Yes.
Unless there is reliable communication reaching us that, we are to desist from acting as her counsels. Until then, well, we have to discharge our duties. That is how it is, and that is how it shall
Yes.
always be, with respect not only to us,
Right.
but to all lawyers.
That's well and good, attorney, but there's also no indication that she might cooperate with the authorities at all. So you could be waiting a very long time. That's what I was asking you. Are you going to be okay with that? So you mean to say you're going to be representing her for years, even if this case drags on, even if they don't find her?
Profession. That is the profession that I swore an oath to take, and that is what I have to do. Because the oath of a lawyer is sacred, more than any other consideration, more than money, more than safety, more than convenience. We have to discharge our duty as a lawyer.
Okay, so PAOK's Winston Casio says he believes that Cassandra Ong is hiding together with a certain Ronelyn Paterna,
That
sorry.
must be Baterina. She's also one of the resource persons.
Correct.
Before the Senate and the House, but we do not represent her.
Okay, and
Although we have met her a few times. Wait, well, Mr. Casio would know. Maybe with respect to Mr. Casio, it's just a matter of time. Casio di ba relo yun?
Oh, man.
Sir, teka. Okay.
Corny.
Medyo corny yan, sir. Sir, teka.
Attorney.
Pinapatawa mo kami. Pero sir, for all intents and purposes, she is in hiding. She is a fugitive. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely. That I will have to admit. And so, if I get a chance to communicate with her, I will advise her to follow the law. We will not advise her to do any act that would be violative of our law. Otherwise, we would not be exhibiting fealty to our oath as lawyers.
So your advice to her is to surrender, to turn herself over?
Well, I cannot broadcast my advice to her on air because that would violate the sanctity of lawyer-client privilege.
Attorney,
But
tayo lang
rest
naman
assured that no lawyer will ever advise his or her client to violate the law.